Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Sunless Sea with me, BrainBoy 20, where we last left off. We had arrived in Palmerston only to discover that there's literally nothing else to do there. And we're now on our way to Khan's Heart in order to pick up our cargo from the Cheery Man. If you didn't pay attention to last episode, or did not see last episode, the reason our hull is so damaged is we had a close encounter with a lifeberg. And they almost one-shot the ship. Like, one more hit from a lifeberg will kill me. But thankfully we're not in the frozen north, so that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, we physically cannot fit the claymen in our hold unless I decide to sell off a bunch of stuff. And I'm not really interested in selling off all my supplies or fuel for any particular reason, so we're shoving off. We'll be dropping by God's Fall, and then I'm probably going to cut out the journey to Khan's Heart. Yeah, that's what we'll do. But honestly, is there really anything to do in Godfall? Seems like it'd be virtually nothing. Yeah, it's just of shouting. Getting a port report here. You know, in all honesty, I'm thinking about ending this series soon because it's getting a bit dull. No, I say soon. That's a silly idea, actually. This is still somewhat interesting. I just need to go out and explore a bit more. But without further ado, when we come back, we'll be in Khan's Heart, and I'll continue this train of thought when I've gathered my thoughts. Welcome back to Khan's Heart. I didn't really even pay attention to what I was saying before, so I kind of forgot. Yeah, no, I'm going to continue this series. We're continuing it until we die. Then take a small break, and then we'll come back. This seems like a game that's going to take a long time to finish, and I'd like to do other things as well. Anyway, collecting the Cherry Man's cargo. Lost 1,000 echoes, gained the instant create brilliant souls. We could hire a crew, but there's no point. What? Well, as of right now, it seems like I can easily gain a port report at Khan's Heart with a 50% chance. Let's give it a try. I hate you. Eyes everywhere. Your listeners meet your questions with courteous, frightened silence. The back of your neck prickles. Don't turn around. Let's not bother. We are going to go out for a stroll in Khan's Heart. Lost light. The canals of the heart are lit by incandescent filament lamps in bulbs of glass in a multitude of colors. Ruby, sapphire, topaz, emerald by turns. There's nothing else like it underneath, or on the surface. You spend a happy quarter hour strolling the alleyways of the copper quarter until an irritable workman sees you eyeing the bulbs and accuses you of plotting their theft. I lose to terror. And I would have to actually bother with the royalty if I wanted to bother getting the trade license, so let's just leave. When we come back, it's silly. We'll just go straight to Khan's Shadow. There's no reason to cut that out, as it's such a short journey. In all honesty, I like to make announcements and stuff like that about when I might end the series, but it's more of me just bouncing ideas out loud, considering you guys don't exactly respond, and I'm not live streaming. At least I'm not live streaming yet. I had ideas to do that over the summer, but I decided that there's not much of a point to doing so unless I'm popular enough on YouTube to begin with, just because it'd be better to have a small group of... It would be better to guarantee, like, a group of people would actually watch my stuff first. Even though I basically do all this live anyway, I just don't have any interactions with people. Anyway, welcome to Khan's Shadow. Hope we enjoy our stay. We'll just compile a port report. And we'll go to the shops, because we can actually sell off the mirror catch box full of very angry dream snakes. That's not something we can apply anywhere, right? Yes. Okay, we shall sell it then. It's worth 500. Do I feel like buying a captivating treasure? I don't think I'm going to die. So I think I'm still fine. Sure. Okay, I just came here for the port report and selling off that box. Is there anything I could possibly do? Sure, I might stop by Pig Mode instead of going to Gator's Morn. Okay, that's the route. Alright, when we come back, we'll either be in combat or I'll be at Pig Mode. Unless there's, like, literally nothing that happens at Pig Mode, in which case I just won't bother bringing us back until something interesting happens. Until then, see you in a bit. I decided to come back in because it's just this small piece of lore that popped up that I thought, why not? You guys might want to see it. We watch for fungal paths in the Sea of Lilies. There is a prison here, guarded by knot oracles. Only stating this because we just kind of dropped into this place and thought you might be interested. Oh well, and we also are arriving at Pig Mode, which is completely unplanned, but okay. This might just fill up our supplies a little bit, which isn't a problem. Personally, I'd like to see if it's possible to acquire skin Talak here, but I highly doubt it. The Republic Ascendant. We could refuel, repair. Well, why not? Let's get a chat with the chief engineer. Keep an update here. He collapsed to your knee affectionately. Safe voyaging? Sure, we'll refuel. Gain a supply into fuel. Continue. Are there any shops here? No. Of course, this has to disappoint me so much. Anyway, when we come back, we'll probably be back at London. Or we'll be in combat. Hopefully not in combat. See you in a bit. I welcome you all back, as we are now on our approach to London on the journey from Pig Mode. We picked up another Zayla from Domino's Gate, and we gained the port reports of Domino's Gate and Mutton Isle. A revenue man. You know what, we're gonna declare all uncontrolled goods. 200 echoes is worth it. Create a brilliant human souls. Your enduring majesty thanks you. Another revenue in tones. Did he just hide a smile? Sure. Collect messages from the Harbour Master. Let's see here. Something has changed. And a free evening. Welcome home. Hand over the cargo and claim your payment. We're never gonna be rid of these supplies, and I suppose that's a good thing, but still. Did I not get that stuff? No, I did. It's just, it didn't look like it. Brass Embassy, but there's absolutely nothing there for me. Dark Speckled Admiral. Okay, what is our hold filled with? Just supplies. Nothing but. Here. Like, pass along strategic information. We got more favors. And let's start. Okay. Ooh. Somewhere new. We're going to the port Shenonate, far to the east. I've never been there before. Before we do anything else, I want to see what is available for 2,000 echoes. The weight's less, the Mirror's bonus is greater, Veil's bonus is better, but that's almost worthless to me. The Corvette is what I'd be looking for, which is just the straight upgrade that I need. Unfortunately, I'm not in any position to acquire it. That's irritating. Right. Anyway, we need to go back to the Dark Speckled Admiral, as we have things for port reports. And this is basically going to fuel up to max. Oh, Wither, I've almost forgotten about this one. I refuse to ask any questions. I don't want to give them the satisfaction. And we've gained another favor, port report. Pig Mode Isle. Okay, I'm gonna check my hold really quick. Yeah, I'm gonna fill myself up with fuel. I'm gonna sell some off, which is hilarious to me. Continue submitting board reports. Oh my gosh. I really went to all of these. Well, submit Khan's Shadow and the Chapel of Lights. Okay. Well, actually, first things first, I should repair my ship. Unless I'm really gonna upgrade it, in which case we'll do these sails first. 1, 2, 3. Continue to submit port reports. Where are they? Avert Horizon. Polythereme. Frostbound. Like, are we going to get to a point where we can just flat out buy the ship I'm looking for? Codex. And there's nothing else here. Let's Karus the Wolfstack. Docks we've gained. Recent news, lost 10 echoes. It was just a good night out. We could hire on more crew, but there's not much point. And unfortunately, we cannot purchase what I'm looking for, so let's put my ship in dry dock. I'm not going to expend my admiralty favors. I have a good idea. I think it's like 10 favors, and I get to do something else with the admiralty. I don't know. But we're going to completely repair our hull with this. And even though I have all these funds, I don't really have anything I can do with them, so let's shove off. I'm gonna check how much time I have left recording. Give me 1 second. I have a decent amount of time still. And we'll rest in our elegant townhouse, lose 100 echoes, but lose all the terror and gain the restful nights. And really, selling it off, how much is it worth? Like 1,000, I think. No. No reason. Yes, let us shove off once more. I mean, this time we guaranteed have enough supplies to take us virtually anywhere in the Z. So yes, let's leave. Are we sure? Yeah, I'm certain. We need to pick up some funding somewhere. So it's somewhere in the far east, so we're basically going to go past Nuncio, so I guess I could stop by there and continue that story. Where else should I drop by? I mean, basically my route's going to be Demino's Gate, Gator's Morn, Khan's Heart, Khan's Shadow, Nuncio, and then whatever else is out here. Alright. When we come back, we will be wherever something interesting occurs, or out exploring if we get to Nuncio. Until then, see you in a bit. Whoop, hello. Pirate frigate. Hi. Hi. Like, you can leave us alone. We're not in your firing arc. Please, don't kill us. I'm gonna burn some fuel just to get out of this mess. Engines may explode. Don't care. I'd rather not get shot by a pirate frigate. Alright, lights back on. All should be well and good. And I can't get out of combat, meaning they're still chasing me. But I think I can make it to Gator's Morn. Which I might as well keep recording then, considering that would have been really painful. Okay, we're all clear then. Alright, we know the drill. Take the random event that occurs whenever we show up exploring the Morn. An intriguing smell. So I tried the shredded jellyfish. Try something mysterious. 26%'s not enough for me. I'll try the shredded jellyfish again. No, actually, try something mysterious. What is the tyrant's treat? The vendor is vague. It looks something like a charred stick dripping with bluish fluid. Rare and delicious. Tyrant moth antenna. You know how to deal with these. You break it into fragments and swirl the dripping fragments each in a gulp, exhaling briskly to savor the vapors afterwards. It's a complex, rather than a pleasant flavor. But its tonic effects are marvelous. I've gained 2 mirrors, I've gained 30 fragments, succeeded, gained 2 irons, and gained 2 heart. That is pretty amazing. Yeah. I enjoy that. And we'll try to gather intelligence. Emphasis on try. And we fail again. Great. Alright. Shoving off. Onward to Nuncio. And I welcome you all back to Nuncio. McMaster's Haven. Let's see, what does the postman want? Or maybe we'll just continue with this story until we hit a content wall. Certainly one exists somewhere. I think... oh, some of the port report. Oh, I didn't realize I could do that. No, I think I already did. I'm just going to read this again, because I don't exactly remember it. Cataloging all the peculiarities of the place takes many pages. The tailor who imports gilt buttons and braids just to be able to keep everyone's uniform in condition. The fashion of wearing a post bag with nothing inside. Wearing it open, wearing it upside down, torn apart, or as a hat, wearing it any way that will show it doesn't have any letters in it. Then there are sitting rooms, papered in cancelled stamps. The bergamot, pomegranate curd on toast. The commerce in rat corpses, the hatred of cats, the absolute custom against ever issuing a paper invitation for any event, no matter how formal. It's the familiarity, the not quite Londonness of the place that makes it all so odd. I think we did this before, I just don't remember it. Anyway, I believe I'm supposed to acquire a postman's uniform. I no longer have access for the ticking anymore. Rescue a squashy parcel. Accepting no further, says a red scrawl across the wrapping. Gain 10 fragments. A funny little smell, and little wonder. The string of rats within may once have been fresh and, to certain tastes, delectable. It is now rather the worse for decay. Giving the parcel's contents a hasty burial is the best you can hope to do. Just before you dispose of it, though, note the recipient's name and address. A name of some power, worth remembering. There's something... Postman's Tavern? Let me check. Ask to borrow a uniform. If you're to fit in here, you'll need one. Look, but not touch. They're polite, even apologetic about your request. You're welcome here, and welcome to take shifts at the dead letter office, but you cannot wear the uniform unless you were a postal employee back in fallen London. Regulations. Blunt Thomas lets you have a look at his uniform jacket at least. Neat stitching, gilded buttons, a thin but dignified circle of braid at the collar. Inside, a patch that goes over the heart, stitched with 6 red letters. You can't read it, but it makes your eye itch and your scalp feel like burning. Alright, let's try a shift at the dead letter office. There's a sign of a cancelled stamp over the door. Extensive tour. Blunt Thomas takes you around the office, a small collection room where those retrieving letters may state their business, a much larger set of back offices where newly arrived letters and parcels are collected and sorted. A dank, briny smell that never goes away, presumably because so many of the parcels spent time in the water before they arrived here. In the back room is a machine manned, ratted, by a postal rat. A rat is fatter in a print-stripped hat. It It shovels sludge-damp letters into a machine's hopper. They come out dried, cleaned, pressed, and sorted into slots by size and quality of paper. There are doors in the dead letter office you've never seen opened. Sure, you can be trusted. Or converse with the postal rat. Why doesn't it make a machine like this one back in London? Might lead to fewer dead letters in the first place. End your shift, return to the docks. You're finished here now. Make a study of what goes on in the back room. The machinery looks interesting. We'll converse with the postal rat. Regulations. Oh, no. That wouldn't be permitted at all. There are strict rules about the initial handling and sorting of post. An experimental machine might mangle the letters. It's only the dead material that is unimportant enough to be entrusted to a ratus faber. His voice isn't bitter, but he twists a coil so hard that it springs sideways out of the machine and pings off your shoe. Let's ask for a key to the basements. No trouble at all. He's surprised by the request. Most postmen don't like it down there. No one ever asks for a key, but he'll cut you a new one. Just be careful in there, and come out if you start to feel wrong. Let's open the back rooms. Deeper and deeper. You had expected. A few shelves of supplies? More files of letters, a few years older? No. It is a pit, so deep that lantern light does not show the bottom. A spiral walkway descends along its wall, and that spiral opens wider as it goes, as if it were looking through the narrow end of a very large shell. Lining this wall are shelves and nooks, unevenly sized. Some are a few inches square, containing single scrolls of papyrus. Others support crates bigger than coffins. They're made of woody fungus, grown to meet requirements. There are no marks of carpentry, or any of the postal rat's handiwork. 3 turns down the spiral, and you feel you can't breathe. Time to leave. You can come back later. Maybe. Tell the postal rat about my basement findings. Gives you something new to chat about, at least. We'll make a further solitary exploration of the basement. Perhaps you were hasty in leaving earlier. It can't be so bad. I think we'll tell the rat first. It's best to get an expert's opinion, after all. Troubled, but not surprised. They say that's been there since before we came. Before there were Londoners underneath. Before there was a dead letter office. There was someone else, and they built the last layer on top of what was there before, and so on. When you press him a little further, he says, "I've been down there. Didn't like it much, but I wanted to test my machine. Thought I could handle some of the very old dead letters. That would be a good sign, you know. Evidence the machine was in working order. Good, strong sorting categories and so forth." He pauses. "There's letters down there that set your hair on fire if you so much as look at them. See the bald patch on my left leg? That wasn't a machine accident. Oh no! That singed right off as soon as I put my nose into one of the letters. I have an extraordinary implication of Tale of Terror, and I'm familiar with flaming letters." Interesting. Descended the basement with flame, properly equipped, candles for the way, and a flare for the bottom. We can end our shift or descend in the basement with mirrors. Arranged contraptions divert light, illuminate what has been dark a long time. I think I'm going to come back with supplies. Let's explore along the beach and collect materials for the dead letters, for the dead letter office. That's where the flotsam belongs, so it can be sorted. Will of its own. You make your way along the shore with a big sack. Many of the envelopes are too damp to read, with their addresses permanently lost, but a surprising number are still legible. There are also parcels. Here and there is a crate, a message in a wine bottle, a sealed cask that is bombed up out of a shipwreck. Your sack ought to get heavy with all these contents, but it pulls upwards and away, straining inland towards the dead letters office by an unmanageable dog. And let's take some soundings. Perhaps there is some evidence of the great hollowness underneath these shores. depth below. Striking the ground causes the stones to shift and rattle. It is hard at first to hear anything more than that, but if you try long enough and strike hard enough, the whole beach shivers like the surface of a drum. The flotsam letters quiver and align themselves in concentric circles around the point of impact. Next wave brings ashore 3 or 4 times the usual freight. Interesting. The fellow manning the collection looks awake for half a second when you come in, till he realizes you're here to relieve him. Feed your undeliverable letters into the sorting machine. The gleaming hopper awaits. 52 categories. After prolonged wearing, the machine begins to distribute 7 invitations edged in gilt into the correspondence of the aristocracy slot, 2 oversized parcels probably containing books into the books tray, 1 stamped bronze tablet that drops with a clang into the bin marked First City. The postal rat watches all this with an air of satisfaction. Of course, we'll end this shift. We're lazy workers, after all. And we're back at the inky blot. Trade war stories about your shift work. Talk about the caverns below the dead letter office. I think we're going to trade war stories. I think they'd be interested. Common ground. The parcels you weighed and entered in logbooks, the things that oozed out of them. The postmen are delighted by your incredulity and shock, a civilian finally understanding the full horror of the post. They have stories even worse than those, let me tell you. Hang on a moment. Postmaster Scritch, we've all heard your rubbery lump story already. It's nothing to the Tomb Colony pickles. Pickled what? Is what I want to know. What about the soothing copper crate and how we had to scrape the bits off the masonry? Do you remember? The night runs late. And let's try to talk about the caverns below the dead letter office. Someone must know something. I'll be curious. Perhaps not. You don't get far into your question before the hairless postwoman stands up and goes over to the fire, holding herself tightly. She's whispering, nothing coherent. Fire. Clean. Smooth. Down to the bone. No excuse. Smooth. Smooth. Little black hairs. Still your tongue! Still your fool tongue, says blunt Thomas. Okay. So we know what burned her, at least. Well, I know more about what burned her, but I'm going to keep that hidden. And I'm just going to, converse just to get my friendliness back up to full. And aside from that, I hope you've all enjoyed watching. This has been BrainBoy 20 with Let's Play Sunless. If you all enjoyed the video, I hope you like, comment, or subscribe, or any combination of the 3, and I will see you all next time. So long.